Greetings, my fellow creatures of the void. Tonight, we venture into the unfathomable depths of terror and madness as we explore the chilling world of the Eldritch horrors and the legacy of H.P. Lovecraft. From his groundbreaking literary works to the sprawling influence his creations have across film, books, comics, and more, this is a journey into the unknown, and trust me, you'll want to keep the lights on for this one. Howard Phillips Lovecraft, born 1890, is widely regarded as the father of cosmic horror. Lovecraft's tales are not your typical ghost stories or monster flicks. Instead, they delve into the terrifying notion of our insignificance in the vast, indifferent cosmos. Lovecraft believed that the true essence of horror lay in the fear of the unknown and the unknowable. His works often feature ancient, godlike entities and a sense of existential dread that has haunted readers for over a century. His stories introduced a pantheon of nightmarish entities, like none other than Cthulhu himself, being so incomprehensible that merely glimpsing them could drive one to insanity. Lovecraft's protagonists are often scholars, scientists, or explorers who uncover truths so horrifying they unravel mentally and physically. According to literary expert S.T. Joshi, Lovecraft's use of language, a blend of archaic and scientific terminology, heightens the sense of alienation and otherness in his stories. Lovecraft's most famous works include The Call of Cthulhu, At the Mountains of Madness, The Shadow over Innsmouth, and The Dunwich Horror. These stories weave together a mythos that has come to be known as the Cthulhu mythos, a shared universe of interrelated horrors. The term itself wasn't coined by Lovecraft, but by his literary peers who expanded on his ideas after his death. Lovecraft's legacy is complex. While his imagination birthed an entirely new genre of horror, his work is also marred by xenophobia and racism. Modern adaptations and interpretations often grapple with these elements, striving to honor his creative genius while confronting and reinterpreting his more problematic views. Writers like Victor LaValle, The Ballad of Black Tom, and Matt Ruff from Lovecraft Country have taken Lovecraftian themes and reframed them in ways that address the issue of race and identity. Despite these challenges, Lovecraft's impact on horror is immeasurable. Guillermo del Toro once described him as the greatest practitioner of the classic horror tale in the 20th century. His work has inspired countless authors, including Stephen King, Ramsey Campbell, and Caitlin R. Kiernan. Lovecraft's influence also extends to tabletop gaming, with Call of Cthulhu RPG being a cornerstone of horror gaming since the 1980s. Lovecraft's work has been notoriously difficult to adapt to film due to its reliance on atmosphere and indescribable horrors. That said, there are standout attempts. Stuart Gordon's Reanimator, 1985, a cult classic loosely based on Lovecraft's Herbert West Reanimator. This film mixes body horror and dark comedy in a way that has captivated fans for decades. The Resurrected, 1991, a highly underrated adaptation of the case of Charles Dexter Ward, capturing Lovecraft's gothic horror tone. The Color of Space from 2019, directed by Richard Stanley. This film, starring Nicolas Cage, captures the eerie, incomprehensible terror of Lovecraft's original story. Films not explicitly based on Lovecraft's work often draw inspiration from his themes. John Carpenter's The Thing, 1982, and In the Mouth of Madness, 1994, echo Lovecraftian elements of isolation, paranoia, and encounters with the unknown. Even Guillermo del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth from 2006 contains hints of Lovecraft's cosmic unease. Outside of film, Lovecraft's influence permeates comics with titles like Providence by Alan Moore and The Courtyard, delving into the mythos. Video games like Bloodborne and Eternal Darkness translate Lovecraftian horror into interactive experiences, immersing players in mind-bending dread. Psychologists and neuroscientists have explored why Lovecraftian horror resonates so deeply with us. Dr. Stephen Schlossman, a psychiatrist, argues that Lovecraft taps into primal fears of the unknown, of losing control, and of existential insignificance. His stories often force us to confront the fragility of our understanding of the universe, triggering what philosopher Eugene Thacker calls the horror of philosophy. Lovecraft's creatures are deliberately indescribable, leaving readers to fill in the blank with their own imaginations. This technique, known as negative space horror, creates a unique, deeply personal terror. The fear of madness, a reoccurring theme in his work, also speaks to a universal anxiety about the loss of self. As a lifelong horror enthusiast, I've always been captivated by Lovecraft's ability to craft a universe where terror feels infinite. His stories have a way of getting under your skin and making you question not just what's out there, but what's within you. And while his works can be unsettling in their implications, they also remind us of the awe and wonder of the unknown. H.P. Lovecraft's influence is everywhere, from the Eldritch horrors of pop culture to the philosophical musings of existential dread. His works continue to challenge and inspire, pushing us to confront the limits of human understanding and the mysteries that lie beyond. Whether you're reading his stories, watching a film inspired by his mythos, or encountering his influence in unexpected places, Lovecraft's legacy is as vast and unending as the cosmos he so often wrote about. Until next time, dear viewers, beware what lurks in the shadows and in the deepest recesses of your mind. I'm Lilith Fury, the Eldritch Queen of Horror, and you are watching the Eldritch Hour.